Would you ever run for president?
I retired from politics. I called my father the morning of the election after we won it was November 6th. And I said, Pops, I love you. I'm going back to the company. I'm going back to the people I love. I'm going back to, doing this. I'll run this side of life, and, you do a great job for the country, and you won't need to worry about anything over here. And, I know the country's in great hands. And I never thought I would have been in this race. I never thought I would have been a major player on that stage. And I was. And arguably without me, my father couldn't have done it, right? Because there would have been no one watching over the actual company. And, that was everything he had ever built, everything he had ever created. This is a major, he had an answer back in the 80s, which is, if I ever got so bad that we had no other choice, I would do it. And that would probably be my answer as well. I've seen the best of politics. I've also seen the worst of politics. I've seen how they can try and destroy a family for doing absolutely nothing wrong. I see how they can lash out and try and imprison you and bankrupt you and then kill you, as they did to my father twice. At the same time, I see this as kind of amazing transformational change that he's making every single day, right? I mean, peace in the Middle East, who the hell would have thought, right? Look at where our economy is, look at where our world is, look at our standing around the world. And so, the good news for the first time, I can see, I really see people who are making a difference. He's making a difference. And I think that's a beautiful thing for our nation. And we better have good business leaders running this country and not these bureaucrats who have been, can you imagine if AOC ran a $32.5 trillion economy?
Yeah, well, it's Deloitte. They're polluting the oceans. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, but like, I mean, look at Kamala, right? I mean, she goes out and talks. Her big economic plan was to stop the price. What did she say?
Gouging.
No, she said gauging. Price gauging.
Oh,
right?
Sorry, price gauging at the grocery stores.
Yeah, price. So she wants, her economic plan for this country is to stop the price gauging. Now,
have you seen the margin though that they have at
grocery stores are making a ton of money. They're making 1% margin.
Yeah, I mean those guys. If anyone has money, it's the people who run the grocery.
The grocery store owners.
Casamatides is a friend of mine, right? Owns Christie's and D'Agostino's and all those, and a lot of places are not even making that. You know why? Because of the theft in some of these cities, right? When you used to have a theft rate of, half of 1%, and now all of a sudden, you have 7% of product walking out of your stores in high tax environments, with spoilage and everything else that you have in the supermarket business, you're not making anything. And the hardest business, but yet Mamdani wants to go and nationalize grocery stores. So, in all the infinite wisdom of City Hall in New York, I mean, I've saved them more times than you can count. We saved them on a skating rink in Central Park. We saved them on a golf course, which they spent 30 years trying to build at a cost of almost $300 million to build a golf course. And I got the thing done in 18 months, right? And yet in City Hall's infinite wisdom, they're going to go nationalize grocery stores and make these things profitable. Give me a break.
How are you going to save New York in a sense? Like, it seems like he's getting a lot of attention. And I would even love to have him on the podcast.
We would guys, we try to have people on the left on this podcast all of the time. I'm not just saying that seriously.
They don't do it. They don't do it. We want more people on from the left.
We have Eric Trump here right now, guys.
This is your chance.
If we could just get Mamdani, if we could get
Kamala, love that.
If we could get anybody, AOC, Bernie Sanders, please.
Ask for all the same questions you asked me today.
What's funny,
we would love to.
We've thrown out the offer for years and zero response back. Yeah. So if you could help, because I'm in real estate.
Are you guys on talking terms?
Well, I mean, can I be honest?
I'm in real estate, yeah.
I mean, the reason they won't do it is, they don't control you. They control ABC. They control NBC, right? I mean, network TV became the kind of the PR arm of the Democratic Party. Everybody knows that, right? The reason you guys are doing great is you have an independent voice and you can ask questions and you can ask them uncomfortable questions. And because of that, they won't go on your programs, right? Like if they go on CNN, they're going to just, they're going to hold up little, fluff T-balls, and let them kind of hit it out of the park all day long with nonsense. And in the case of ABC, you saw what they did with, Kamala's interview. They literally edited all the questions to make her try and sound intelligent. And they took questions, they edited her answers, and they tried to make her sound intelligent. Like and that's the reason these people won't come on your podcast, because they have to do what I've done for the last 90 minutes, where you actually have to be intelligent and run your mouth and, know the answers to kind of far-reaching topics of which these people don't, because they've never lived in the real world. And as I said before, most of their votes have always been, yes and no.
But seriously, that is an honest offer. So if anyone, if you know Kamala,
are you worried about him getting elected? and destroying a city and putting these policies in place and driving people out. He was talking today about a 52% tax rate in New York City.
Well, listen, guys, I left New York. I left New York because of the weaponization in New York, but I left New York also because of the taxes. I mean, between
we left California
because of
taxes. We left back in 2020.
How can you blame me? I mean, let's just take a tale of two cities, right? New York, which was our entire life. I still have a lot of assets in New York, and let's take Florida for a second, right? New York is thinking about increasing property tax, just taxes in general even more. You mentioned the 52%, kind of marginal, right? Yet DeSantis is coming out every day saying he's going to eliminate all property taxes in the state of Florida, right? You know why DeSantis has that much cash? Because everybody left New York and they all came down here. There's an article in New York Times saying that the top 18,500 taxpayers in New York City paid 85% of the taxes. And they all left. They all left. And now all of a sudden they want to raise taxes again. You know what they should do? They should go the exact opposite way. Cut wasteful spending, bring down the tax rate, and no city in the world could compete with New York. I love New York.
New York's amazing.
I love New York. I love everything about the city. If they had, and I'm not talking about bringing it down to zero, but if they brought state and city tax down to like what North Carolina has, 4%, 4.5%.
Oh, it would crush. Same with California. So many people would move back to California.
People would pay the marginal difference, 100%.
Yeah.
You couldn't compete against New York. You could pay a little bit more, but what's going to happen? He's going to come in. Your streets are going to get dirty. Your streets are going to get unsafe. He wants to defund the police, as you know. He hates the Jewish population. I mean, he says including last night on Martha McCallum, he said that he wants to imprison, Netanyahu if he ever came into New York. So Netanyahu comes to speak at the UN, and you're going to have the mayor of New York imprison him? This can't be serious. This can't be serious, right? So congratulations, you're just going to have a major world leader that doesn't come to the UN, which is going to diminish what the UN function is, which is going to only diminish New York. It's hard to believe we're here. It's incredibly.
So what are you planning to do, if anything?
Listen, I no longer vote in New York. I'm a proud Florida resident. I love it down here in Florida. It's sad. Again, I have a lot of assets in New York, and I only wish the best for the city. But it's
But you do have a big platform and a big voice.
Oh, and believe me, I use that platform and voice. And it is hard to run against somebody who promises everything for free, right? It's kind of one of those life lessons that I think we've learned over hundreds of years. Somebody goes around promising the world for free. I mean, it's easy to promise something until you actually have to pay for it, and I think they're going to run into that in the hard way. And I think if he does in fact increase taxes again, I think you're just going to see another exodus from New York to Florida, and I think that's just going to continue to make Florida real estate more expensive.
Real talk for a second. If you're trying to grow on social media, short form content is literally digital gold. It has been one of the biggest drivers of success for the Iced Coffee Hour. We just take our best moments from the podcast and we can clip them up for TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it.
But let's be honest, it takes a lot of time to do that properly. And that's why tools like our sponsor, Opus Clip, are a total game changer. For those unaware, Opus Clip isn't just a clipping tool anymore. It's a full-on AI-powered video editor built for creators. So incredible that it could automatically pull in your long-form YouTube videos, find the best moments, add captions, B-roll, and even schedule clips to post while you're away.
It's like having an entire editing team, but built by AI. Top creators like Jubilee and Darman are already using it, and we actually use it here on the Iced Coffee Hour. You see this clip Togi reacted to? It was made with Opus Clip.
And here's the best part. Everyone who signs up with our link gets 1 week for free, plus 50% off your first 3 months. All you have to do is go to opus.pro/icedcoffeehour or click the link down below in the description. Again, that is opus.pro/icedcoffeehour.
Seriously, guys, we cannot recommend it more. For what they deliver, it is extremely affordable. So if you want to get a bunch of content super fast, built by AI, I highly recommend Opus Clip. Thank you so much to Opus Clip for sponsoring this episode.